In the process of setting up Spark 3 on our single node cluster, so far we have downloaded and installed Spark 3 binaries, and also we have configured. Let's validate Spark 3.1.2 with Scala Python as well as SQL using CLIs. We'll also make sure that Spark 3.1.2 is integrated with Hive by running some queries against the database and tables that are created using Hive earlier. To make sure that there is a database and a table within Hive metastore, let's launch Hive first. Once Hive is launched, we should be able to say show databases to list the databases. We can connect to the database using use command, and then we should be able to list the tables using show tables. We should be able to even run queries against the tables. So let's take care of running those commands and queries here. Show databases, it is actually listing default and retail DB as databases. Now I can connect to retail DB by saying use retail DB. Then I can say show tables. You can see that there is one table by name orders. I can say select star from orders limit 10 to preview the data in orders. And also I should be able to get the count by saying select count of 1 from orders. It will submit using MapReduce, and we'll get count as 68,883. Once we get the results back, we can come out of this, and then we should be able to validate the same thing using Spark. It will not only confirm that Spark is set up properly on this machine, it will also confirm that Spark can talk to Hive metastore database and tables which we have created earlier. Let's wait until this job is completed, then we'll take it further. Now the job is completed, we can exit from here. Now to launch Spark using Scala, we can say opt spark 3 bin, then spark -shell, then -- master yarn. Even if you do not specify master yarn, because we have set the property spark master as yarn as part of the Spark defaults, it will work. Also, you can actually skip this, but if you want, you can actually set spark.ui.port to 0 and you can hit enter. If you want, you can skip both the master as well as conf in this case, because we are using a single node cluster which is dedicated to us, and hence we don't need to add this additional property called as --conf spark.ui.port equal to 0. The only reason why I typically add is because I got used to it as while demonstrating using my multi-node cluster. That being said, let's wait until Spark Shell is launched. It will launch using Scala 2.12, and we should be able to run all Spark related queries or commands here. So in this case, I can say spark.sql show databases. It will return a data frame. To preview the data frame, you can say show like this, and you should be able to see the output. You can also connect to the database using use command. Let's wait until it lists the databases, then we'll take it further. You can see it have listed default and retail DB as databases. Now I can say spark.sql use retail_db. No need to say show when we try to connect to the database. We just have to run use retail DB like this. Then we can say spark.sql select star from orders, then show. When you use spark.sql to query the data from the table, we don't need to specify a limit, because by default show will only display 20 records. You can see the 20 records as output. We'll also run count query so that it will confirm that we are able to access data using Spark jobs. In this case, we can say spark.sql select count of 1 from orders, then show, and hit enter. Circle brackets at the end with respect to show is not mandatory when you are using Scala. Accidentally I have added. Even if you do not add, it will work. Now you can see the count, which means we have validated Spark using Scala successfully, and also we ensured that Spark can talk to Hive metastore. Now I can come out of this. To use Python 3, if you have 2 versions of Python, you can export PySpark_Python as Python 3, and you can take it further. As of now, I have only 1 version of Python on this machine, and hence I should be able to use it directly. In case if it fails saying that command not found, what you can do is you can create a soft link for user bin Python 3 as user bin Python, and it will work. So either you can export or you can create soft link and you can take it further. If you want to export, this is how the command will look like. You can say export PySpark_Python equal to Python 3. If you want to create soft link, you can say sudo ln-s user bin Python 3 user bin Python. This will take care of creating the soft link for you. As I already have it, it failed. You can validate by saying ls-ltr user bin Python. I took care of this when I validate Spark using 2.4.7 on this machine. As we have 2 versions of Spark, this is already taken care. So either you can create soft link or you can export and you can take it further. Now with respect to using PySpark, we can say opt spark 3 bin PySpark --master yarn, it is not mandatory because we have already set spark.master to yarn as part of the spark defaults.conf. Also, if you do not want to add this conf spark.ui.port, you can ignore. It will work without any issues on your single node cluster. It will take care of launching Spark using Python as programming language. Then we should be able to run the same commands which we have ran earlier using Spark with Scala and validate that PySpark is working without any issues, and also we can confirm that we are able to talk to Hive Metastore without any issues. We can say spark.sql show databases. Then you have to say show to list the databases. When it comes to Python, you have to add circular brackets like this at the end, otherwise it will fail. With the Scala, you don't need to. Now it will return the databases we have in our Hive Metastore. They are nothing but default and retail DB. I will be running only one command or one query, which is nothing but select count of 1 from retail DB dot orders. The reason why I'm specifying retail DB here is because I'm not connected to the retail DB database. By default, I'll be connected to default database. It will take care of referring the table from retail DB directly without connecting to the database. Now I can say show. We should be able to see the count by getting the data from the Hive Metastore table, which is nothing but orders. If we get the count, that means we are able to interact with Hive Metastore from PySpark as well. So this will actually take care of validation with respect to PySpark. Now it is time for us to validate Spark SQL. To launch Spark SQL, you can say opt spark3, then bin, then spark-sql, then --master yarn. Once again, I'm reiterating, it is not mandatory, but I got used to it. That's why I tend to add it. Then we can also say --conf spark.ui.port equal to 0. Even this one is not mandatory. You should be able to run this. It will launch the Spark SQL. You can run Hive commands directly as part of this Spark SQL interface. This is SQL based Spark interface. Let's wait until Spark SQL is launched. Then we should be able to run commands such as show databases, use retail DB, so on and so forth to access tables that are created earlier using Hive. So we can use the tables that are created in Hive via Spark, and also we can create tables using Spark, and we should be able to access those things using Hive interface also. Now let's say show databases. It will list the databases for us. We have two databases, default and retail DB. You should be able to see the retail DB as part of the output. Now you can actually say select count of 1 from retail_db dot orders to get the count from orders. You should be able to see the count very soon. This will take care of validating Spark SQL in conjunction with Hive. So far we have successfully set up Spark 3 on this machine. We have configured to interact with Hive Metastore, and also we have validated using Spark with Scala, Python as well as SQL. Make sure you go through these steps so that you have the environment ready to learn Spark 3 using this single node Hadoop and Spark cluster.